Party's office has issued a nationwide arrest warrant for this ICE officer who's now facing up to 14 years in prison for allegedly pointing his gun at two people during rush hour traffic. This happened back in February, and according to the criminal complaint.
Can you believe this is actually happening? A local prosecutor just issued a nationwide arrest warrant for a federal ICE agent over a traffic jam. We're talking about 14 years in prison for something that happened during rush hour. You need to see how this is escalating right now because it changes everything for law enforcement. This is wild. Look at the language being used here. A nationwide arrest warrant for a federal officer. The core of the issue is a dispute where the agent allegedly pulled a weapon after being cut off in the shoulder lane. But think about the precedent this sets. You've got a county attorney, Mary Moriarty, basically declaring war on federal agents participating in Operation Metro Surge. She's calling it a federal occupation. That's a heavy word to use for law enforcement doing their jobs. If you're an officer on the street, how do you even function if you're worried about local DAs hunting you down for split-second decisions? It feels like we're watching a complete breakdown between local and federal systems. Notice how the focus isn't just on the incident, but on accountability for harms across the whole county. This isn't just about one traffic stop. It's a systemic strike against the federal presence in Minnesota. Check out these numbers on the screen. The moment Iran announced the Strait of Hormuz was reopening, the markets absolutely lost it. This is a massive shift in global energy security. For weeks, we've been hearing about the shadow war in the shipping lanes, and suddenly the gate is open. This didn't just happen by accident. It's tied directly to a 10-day ceasefire brokered between Israel and Lebanon. It's like a massive geopolitical puzzle piece just clicked into place. If you look at the timing, it's a total 180 from the rhetoric we were seeing just 48 hours ago. Iran is essentially saying, as long as the guns are quiet in Lebanon, the oil flows. It's a high-stakes leverage game, and right now, the tension in the Middle East is hitting a weirdly quiet frequency. Everyone is holding their breath to see if this 10-day window actually holds, or if it's just a breather before something bigger.
Today, the court routinely opts to enter the fray, and it fails to acknowledge the harms that follow when the Supreme Court of the United States consistently and casually divests the lower courts of their equitable authority. The court's stay decisions can, at times, come across utterly irrational. We cannot expect the public to have faith in our judicial system if, without clear explanation, we consistently green-light harmful acts that do real damage.
Wait, did you catch that specific phrase? Justice Jackson calling the Supreme Court's own decisions utterly irrational. That is an incredible thing to hear from a sitting member of the highest court in the land. She's not just disagreeing with a ruling, she's attacking the entire process of how they handle emergency dockets. She's essentially telling a room full of Yale law students that the public shouldn't have faith in the judicial system because of her own colleagues. It's a rare look at the internal friction happening behind those velvet curtains. Usually, these justices keep the irrational talk for their written dissents, but taking it to a public podium like this is a major flex. It shows just how deep the divide is between the originalist wing and the progressive wing. She's positioning herself as the catalyst for change, but in doing so, she's basically throwing the rest of the bench under the bus.
So I just got off the phone with President Donald Trump. We're traveling with him here in Las Vegas, and he's been posting, as you mentioned, to True Social quite a lot this morning about Iran. So I called him and got right to the point asking if Iran agreed to stop enriching uranium, which is a major sticking point. This is something that even just days ago was something that they weren't saying they would give up to get this deal. He told me that they did agree to that. I said, did they stop enriching uranium? They agreed to that. And he said they agreed to everything, he told me. He asked me, are you surprised? And I asked him if he's surprised. He said, quote, I'm not surprised by anything. And then he said, I'll see you later. We'll be traveling with him on the plane to Arizona. So we hope to get more questions on camera with the president, possibly as he's in transit from Las Vegas to Phoenix.
This phone call detail is the real kicker. Trump basically confirmed that Iran has agreed to stop enriching uranium. If that's true, it's the holy grail of nuclear diplomacy, but done through a totally different playbook. No pallets of cash, no 100-page treaties, just raw economic and military pressure. The reporter asks him if he's surprised, and in classic fashion, he says he's not surprised by anything. It's a fascinating look at peace through strength in real time. But here's the question: will they actually stop? We've seen agreements with this regime fall apart before. The leverage here seems to be their actual survival versus a payout. Choking off the Strait of Hormuz and bringing the economy to its knees might have been the only thing that actually worked. It's a total checkmate move if it holds through the weekend. Big moves happening everywhere, from Minnesota to Tehran. What do you think? Is the ICE prosecution justified, or is it a political hit? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to follow for the next breakdown.